Hello, Reverend Dr. Red here. This video is going to be on understanding the left. Now, as we all know, the left is your liberals, which unfortunately nowadays also includes much of your Republicans. Unless you are a true conservative, you are a liberal. That's just the way it is. There is no such thing as a middle or a moderate. You're either liberal or you are conservative. Now, in understanding how the left thinks, we need to first understand what they're trying to accomplish. What the left is trying to accomplish is complete control. They want to control the masses. They want to control what we think. They want to control what we do. They want to control how we do it. They want to control what we eat. They want to control where we go. They want to control every aspect of our life. That is what they are trying to do. That's what they want. Now, how they are how they're trying to go about accomplishing this is by setting insane laws, making the people feel as though you are in the sense of security and safety, you have to give up these freedoms. And the list just kind of goes on from there. Now, one example of this is starting out as little children. And this has been going on for a long time now, but it's getting worse. So I'm going to go based on, pretty much how things are being done now, since it has accelerated and gotten worse. Kids are pretty much being taught in school, not allowed to think for yourself, not allowed to act for yourself, not allowed to do anything without permission from somebody else. They're being taught that you shouldn't join a certain clique or a certain group of people because everybody should be included. Everybody's equal. Now, granted, to a certain extent that's true. To a certain extent it isn't. And part of this, joining different cliques growing up, and you'll be friends with this one and not with that one. It's just part of growing up. And that's how society is too. It's how we are as kids, where our childhood is like, that teaches us certain lessons in life and helps make us the adults that we become. But now, if you have this little child, you don't teach him the correct history or all of the history. You're going to take certain facts out of that, and America is doing that. To look at how history is taught in America, or any topic for that matter, is taught in America as opposed to anywhere else in the world, you will see that they have a lot more understanding of what's going on, especially history, because they're taught everything. We are only taught what the government wants us to be taught. So if you actually think of anything that you might have been taught back in school, and you remember what you're taught about it, and then you go ahead and look it up, you're going to discover a whole bunch of facts that was not taught. Like the fact that back in the day, prior to the Civil War, blacks were also free men in the South. And they had their own slaves, and they treated their slaves, which were also blacks, more horrific than a lot of the white men treated the blacks. So to suggest the Civil War was fought strictly over slavery is absurdity. And to suggest that a Confederate is a racist is absurd, because you had plenty of black Confederates where they weren't just soldiers in the Confederate Army because they were told to, but because they were actually, truly Confederates. They wore the colors, they believed in it. It's what they were about. They wanted the Confederacy. And to this day, you still have black Confederates. So that's just a prime example. But if you take this child now, and where you're teaching them false propaganda and half-truths and all lies, and you're teaching them that they are unable to think for themselves, stand up for themselves, or anything else because it's wrong to do so, by the time they become an adult, and they hear about a law that's getting passed that they don't like, or they're being told something that they don't appreciate or they don't like, out of sheer fear of what might happen to them for speaking out, or whatever else might be going on, they're not going to speak out and voice their own opinion. They're more or less going to be good little slaves. That's pretty much what's happening right now. These children in the school system now are being trained to be good little slaves. And as far as the adults, we have the mainstream media to take care of that. The mainstream media is more or less a modern propaganda machine where they're only going to tell us the news they want us to know about, and they're going to put the spin on it that where we believe about it, what they want us to believe. And if you look at the same exact news story being covered by CNN, and you look at it from the angle of, say, the BBC, you're going to hear a completely different story. Why? Because the BBC or any other news network outside America is pretty much telling the facts. There is no spin on it. They're not turning it into entertainment. It's strictly news. They're going to incorporate all the facts. They're not going to try to lie to you. It's the news. It is what it is. Another prime example is how Gaddafi was an enemy of America and how he treated people so poorly. Granted, yes, he did treat some people poorly. I mean, everybody has their reasons why they can like or dislike their ruler. But prior to Gaddafi, Libya was literally a third world nation. Gaddafi took over, and then everybody had a job. Their economy boomed. The amount of homeless people dropped. Everybody had housing. Everybody had a job. Everybody was able to take care of their family. Everybody was a success. If you were homeless, had no job or anything else, it's because you chose to be that way. Because Gaddafi literally boomed Libya. There was no need for any government welfare programs like we have here in America with Gaddafi in power. But naturally, through the propaganda machine, we have been led to believe that Gaddafi was this great big communistic, socialistic pig who treated his people like dirt and was bringing Libya down, when the exact opposite is the truth. The only thing that I don't like about Gaddafi, more or less, was the fact that he's a Muslim. Obviously, him being a Muslim, he wasn't believing in Jesus Christ, and he wasn't allowing himself to be in the truth and the light. So to that end of things, he was still submerged in darkness, and in a sense made him spawn of Satan. But that's just an example of how the mainstream media is lying to the people and is being used as a propaganda machine to make Americans believe what they want us to believe, how they want us to believe it, when they want us to believe it, and whatever they don't want us to know, you just won't hear about. You might find out about it on underground news media, independent journalism, or by word of mouth. And no matter how serious of a story it is, and no matter how much you feel that should have hit national news media, or at least local news media, local to where the incident took place, if the government doesn't want you to know about it, it will not hit the news media. Another thing they're doing to control us is they're trying to make everybody stupid. And they're accomplishing this by literally putting poisons in the air through chemtrails. If you Google chemtrails, you'll get thousands upon thousands of results. Just take some time out and look into the chemtrails. They're putting poisons in the water system. They're putting poisons in the food supply. They're making genetically modified foods that don't have the proper nutrients. It's all man-made nutrients. It's not the natural nutrients that our body needs. So we're going to be a lot less healthy than we should be. And then just about if we're not acting or behaving the way they want us to behave, they're going to label us with a specific mental disorder, because now we're speaking out against them and they don't like that. We have free will. We have the capacity and the ability to think for ourselves and to be creative. And they don't like that, so they're going to slap us with a mental disorder title. And they're going to shove some medication down our throats. And all that medication is doing is rewiring your brain. I believe I also did a podcast and an article on this topic. So you can look into that as well on spiritualmessiahministries.org. It has to do with the indoctrination of America. But one particular drug is the Prozac or Xanax. If you're taking that, I suggest you stop. Because what that's going to do is, if you, prior to taking that, say you have somebody says something to you that you don't like, you're going to voice out on it. You're going to voice your opinion. You're going to speak out against it. And you're going to try to explain where you're coming from. Somebody goes to harm you or your family, you're going to defend yourself, or you're going to defend your family. Now you start taking the Prozac or the Xanax or any other kind of drugs that are out there for this disorder that they're trying to tell you that you have. What's now going to happen after a few months of taking this drug is literally rewiring your brain. So what's going to happen is, in that same instant where your family is in harm's way, and you would normally have the angst to defend yourself or defend your family, you're just going to sit there and you're just going to freeze. You're not going to be able to do anything. You're suddenly going to literally not know what to do, or you're not going to have the physical ability to do anything. If somebody speaks out against you or says something to you that you don't agree with, rather than voice out against it or speak out against it and then try to explain yourself to this individual, you're just going to sit there and take it, because you no longer have the ability to, or the actual physical ability, or the I don't want to say courage, but it's probably the best word I can come up with right now, to speak your mind. Not that you got to be, aggressive about it, but just how I'm talking to you right now, just simply speaking out to them like that, just to voice your opinion on whatever it is that is said. You will not be able to do it. And I've heard numerous stories of people that happened to, and I watched it happen to my one brother. So this is pretty much a full-on attack. They're attacking us from every angle. They do not want free thought. They do not want creativity. They want us to feel, to think how they want us to. They only want us to know what they want us to know when they want us to know it. They don't want us to know what's going on. They don't want us to know the truth. And all of this is in the name of control. They want to control us. You cannot control a free people. A people that is going to exercise their God-given freedoms and their God-given rights is going to be a hard people to control. And the elite understand this. So what they're trying to do is secularize religion, indoctrinate us through the mainstream media, and indoctrinate our children through the government school system. And they're going to try to dumb everybody down by drugging us up. And unless you have your own well water that you know for a fact hasn't been touched in any way, shape, or form, you're growing your own food that you know you started growing from 100% organic seeds, and you're living in some kind of bubble over your property where you're controlling the oxygen flow, and you have some filter on it to take out all the toxins that's being sprayed in the air. It's going to be almost next to impossible to get away from them drugging us up. So the best thing I can say to you is to try to eat as healthy as possible and as organic as possible, and don't fall for all this propaganda and hype of all those mental disorders. If you take a look into it, a lot of these disorders didn't exist until the 1950s and the 1960s. And it just suddenly popped up seemingly out of nowhere. And if you study really hard into it, you will see that these disorders only came about because of the CIA. They were trying to figure out how they can control the people, and they ran all kinds of weird, sick tests, and then finally released it out onto the people. And a lot of doctors don't even know what they're giving you, what the after side effects are, what the drugs even actually are. They're only prescribing medications to you and drugs to you, and with information that they were told to give to you, and then with information that they were told themselves, and led themselves to believe. Granted, yes, some doctors and some other people in the pharmaceuticals do know the truth and the proper information, but they're not going to do anything to stop it. They're going to do what they're told because they're being given a nice fat paycheck, and a lot of them are being threatened that if they do go against it, it's going to be shut down. I mean, as it is, there's a lot of organic farms and natural remedy shops that are all being shut down or prevented from even opening up because the government wants us to believe that we need their man-made medications to heal us. They don't want us to know that prior to them and prior to the past approximately 60, 70 years, people were a lot healthier by healing themselves on all natural remedies, eating organic foods, eating foods that the body required. They want to be in control of all this. And a lot of people, through different diseases that are now popping up, a lot of these medications that are being given for it, a lot of them is making us sicker and causing us to die out. And I believe that we're going to start seeing a lot more crazy man-made diseases that are going to start wiping out people by the masses. But again, I did cover this already in a podcast and an article. You can find information on ChristmasMessiahMinistries.org Again, it has to do with indoctrinating America. I forget the exact name of the article, but if you just go to the search bar on the website and type indoctrinating America into the search bar, you should get the articles that I'm talking about in the podcast. They all have the tag. And they're all linked together. But the left is doing this for control. And the reason why the left or the liberals tend to be very socialist, whether you're talking about communism, fascism, Marxism, they're all different types of socialism. The reason why a lot of these liberals tend to go towards that form of government is because they understand that if they don't, they have to allow other faiths. By allowing Christianity and Judaism, you're going to hear the truth and the light being preached. They don't want that. Through the truth being preached, people are going to start waking up to the truth. People are going to start conversing with one another, and people are going to start putting more trust in the Lord Jesus Christ and in each other than in the government. And what's going to happen is everybody is going to start looking past all this division nonsense and their propaganda, and they're going to rise up against them. And they don't want that to happen. And now, as I said before, in which I go in depth a little bit in the video, mainstream Christianity versus true Christianity, is by secularizing the mainstream faiths. Right now, over the past couple of years, we have been seeing a major secularization of Christianity. And then, as I said, what this is doing is setting up for the one world religion. But they're being secularized, it's enabling them to twist everything, where now we're looking at them as God. We're hungry, we're going to go to them. We need money, we're going to go to them. We need shelter, we're going to go to them. Where they are literally in charge of every aspect of our life. And once they achieve that 100%, what's going to happen next is they will continue giving us our shelter and our food, but they're going to make us literally work for it. And not work as in the sense of going to Walmart and you're going to be a cashier at Walmart, or you're going to be a taxi cab driver, or a factory worker or what have you. I mean literally work for it. We're going to be slaves in the literal sense. We will have no freedoms. We won't be allowed to think for ourselves. We won't be allowed to openly preach the gospel. We won't be allowed to openly believe in any other faith other than the government, other than the elite. No, what they don't understand is they're not going to win. Another way that they're trying to control everybody is make everybody uniform. Now, God didn't make us look a certain way so that we can decide that God was wrong and start altering our image. Now, Jesus had facial hair, Jesus had long hair, and it also mentions in the Bible how you are supposed to look. Now, the government is trying to say that or the mainstream is trying to say that males are to have short hair or a crew cut, clean shaven, no chest hair, no back hair. Now they're trying to push the armpit hair and other areas needs to be shaven, gone. Different areas have been getting pushed with the females, and now it's finally going into the fact with females where they have to have their hair up or pull back in a ponytail or up in a bun or something, or in some manner to have. We have pulled back in a lot of institutions where they work, and they also set forth this dress code, where they now literally have everybody judging people by their appearance. People look at everybody based on how they appear, on whether they have long hair and facial hair, or short hair and clean shaven, whether they wear a suit and tie, a shirt and jeans, or if they're a biker, and automatically have a thought in their head of what this person is like and what this person believes, which is wrong. I've met people that are full on, hearts of gold, and 100% true followers of Jesus Christ, that were long-haired, bearded bikers, who had the whole get-up and everything, from the black pants and the chains hanging on them, with the boots and the biker vests and everything. And I've also seen people in the suit and ties with the crew cut or the short hair. And I have no idea what they're talking about, and they'll steal the shirt right off your back. And here again, let's look at Jesus. Jesus had long hair. Jesus had facial hair. Jesus did not dress as a Pharisee or as a rabbi, yet that's how he was looked at by all of his followers, as a rabbi. He dressed as everybody else did. And in the Bible, it does tell you how you are supposed to appear. And now if God wanted males to only have short hair and a clean-shaven face and no back hair, no chest hair, and he wanted both the female and the male to have no armpit hair, no arm hair, and no leg hair, and other areas, completely hairless, head to toe, God would have not made us covered in hair. And there once was a time where men, in particular, or little boys rather, looked forward to growing their beards, getting facial hair, and getting their first chest hair popping in, because that was a sign of manhood. Now they're being taught, now when that happens, it's this great evil. And they got to immediately shave it off or do whatever they got to do to make sure it doesn't get seen by anybody. This is ludicrous. And it's very anti-Christian beliefs. But here again, it's just another way that the left can demonize Christianity, can demonize Jesus Christ, can demonize God, and put everybody at war with each other, so that we won't be able to see what they are doing to us, where we will instead work together and go to war with them. They are doing this to control us. They want us to look how they want us to look. They want us to speak and act and behave how they want us to behave. They want us to do what they want us to do, how they want us to do it. They want us to eat whatever they want us to eat. We are to work when, how, and where they want us to work. We are to raise our kids how they tell us to raise our kids. I mean, they're literally trying to control every aspect of our life. And piece by piece, they're doing so, and now it's just accelerating. And at the end of all this, we are going to realize that we no longer have any freedoms. So it's important that we understand where the liberals are coming from, what they are trying to accomplish, and make sure that we are not going to fall for their propaganda, fall for their hype, and realize that no matter what they say, no matter what they do, And no matter how much power they try saying that they have, we have more power. Because you see, these liberals, they're all spawns of Satan. They're all working for Satan. That is one thing that you must understand. They're working for Satan. They don't care about us. They only care about themselves, and they care about power, and more power, and more power. And we are in their way. Now, if we understand that no matter what they say, and how much power they feel they have, we have the power. They only get their power from us. If we believe that their propagandized hype to be true, and therefore we act on that belief, where now we won't speak out because, oh my God, we'll go to jail, or we won't grow our own garden because we'll go to jail, or we're not gonna try to homeschool our children, or at least teach our children the truth, because we might go to jail because now it's child abuse. That is how they're getting their power, because now they said something to us, they passed a bill to make what they say to be fact, and to further intimidate us, and by allowing that to intimidate us, we're now going to act on that intimidation. That is what's giving them the power to now turn around, and if we do anything, we're going to go to jail. But if they say that if we grow our own homegrown garden, and they're going to put us in jail for that, and we say no, you're not, we have the right to grow our garden. If I want to grow my own tomatoes because tomatoes in the store are too much money, I have the right to grow my own tomatoes. You're not going to boss me around. They will not have the power to throw you in jail. And if you try speaking out against it and you get thrown in jail, all they are trying to do is make you look, make an example out of you. So now if the rest of us can see you go to jail, and rather than let that intimidate us, and we will instead speak out and try to get you out of jail, and grow our own tomatoes anyway, they will lose that power, because that power does not exist. They don't have it. We do. And you need to understand that. Because you see, it's all been written. In the end, Satan is going to lose, and God is going to win. We're going to be under a reign with Jesus Christ. That is the ultimate end. We are going to be with Jesus Christ, and Satan and all of his spawns are going to be burning in hell for eternity. That is the ultimate end game of all of this. And we need to realize that, and they need to understand that. The only power they have comes from the power we allow them to have, from us allowing them to intimidate us. If we don't allow them to intimidate us, that power cannot exist. Because in all reality, it doesn't exist. They cannot and will not win. I mean, yes, some certain things are set forth to take place in order for prophecy to fulfill. But it does not mean that we are to sit here and do nothing and allow ourselves to be intimidated. we have to understand that the power is in our hands. They are not God, and we cannot allow them to become God. But that is why they are doing all this. They feel that by doing everything they're doing to us, and pulling all these scare tactics and demolishing our freedoms, and trying to tell us that we can do no right, and by trying to control every aspect of our life, that they're going to keep on getting more and more and more and more power. And they feel that by doing so, that nothing's going to happen to them. Because Satan promised them all these great big promises. And they refuse to see that in the end, all they're going to be doing is burning in hell for eternity alongside Satan. It doesn't matter what Satan promises them, because the promise isn't going to happen. And they're more concerned about what's happening here in the physical world as opposed to in reality. They don't care about the next life. All they care about is this life. They refuse to look at what's going to happen to them. As long as today goes okay, they're not going to be concerned about tomorrow. It's a very sick mindset that they have. And whereas I do feel that some of these liberals can be saved if they're shown enough of the light, a lot of them can't. A lot of them are literally spawns of Satan. They have not 1 ounce of Christ's blood flowing in their veins. And the more light we shed, the more fearful in us they're going to get. And the more they're going to try to run from us. And that is one of the reasons why they're trying to outlaw and illegalize through the secularization of Christianity and Judaism. But all that's going on is for control. They want to control us. They don't care about us. They don't care about anybody. They don't care what happens to this planet. They don't care what happens to their own families, a lot of them. All they care about is themselves. And that is it. All they want is the power. They want to be looked at as God. And they want us to rely on them. They want us to have the need for their very existence. Much like true Christians have with Jesus Christ. We have faith in Jesus. We need help with something, or we need guidance with something. We will pray to Jesus and ask Jesus for that guidance. And we will ask Jesus for help. They want to have that relationship with us. They don't want us to know about Jesus Christ. They don't want us to have faith in Jesus Christ. They don't want us to be self-sufficient. They don't want us to have free thought. They don't want us to have creative thinking. They don't want us to have an understanding. They want us to be under the complete control of them. Whatever they want to be the reality, what they want us to believe is reality. And via mainstream media, that is exactly what they're doing. If you look at international media or the independent journalism, you will see that is exactly what's going on. A lot of what we have been led to believe through the mainstream media are all half-truths and all lies. Metaphorically speaking, we are living in a giant matrix, a real-life matrix. And they know that through Christianity, people who follow true Christianity can have 100% faith in Jesus Christ and are willing to take that faith in Jesus to their grave, will not only unplug themselves from the matrix, but will in turn have the capability and the power to unplug others out of the matrix. And the more that become unplugged, the less control they're going to have over us. I mean, it's not just happening here in America, it is literally happening all over the planet. And it's just that we are finally seeing the effects of it here in America. But it's nothing new that started. This has been going on for a long, long time. So we really shouldn't allow them to intimidate us, because by allowing the intimidation tactics and the indoctrination and the beliefs in the propaganda to take hold on us, all that is doing is giving them more and more and more and more control, and we are willingly giving up more and more of our freedoms. And in turn, we are turning our backs on Jesus Christ. We are turning our back on God. And that is a very, very dangerous thing to do. So, my message to you out of all this is to hold on to faith in God, stand with Jesus Christ, and don't allow them to indoctrinate your children. Don't allow them to indoctrinate yourself through the mainstream media and the propaganda machine. And fight back. Don't allow them to have the control that they don't have. They will only have control over you individually if you give them that control. The more people that allow them to have the control, the more control they will have. Just because they arrested this person over here for growing their tomatoes does not mean that they'll get away with it over here. Because these people won't give into it. But if they arrest one individual here, now this individual now stays quiet, and none of his neighbors come to this individual's rescue, now they just gain control over that whole neighborhood. And then any other neighborhoods that follow suit, now they have control of that entire neighborhood. That's how their control grows. Just because they say they have the authority, and just because it's a law that passed, does not mean that the control and the authority is actually there. It is only there if we allow it to be there. But they're doing all of this out of pure self-gain and greed. They want the control and they want the authority. And that is why they do what they do. A lot of the tactics that they're taking to hold onto that control and to make their authority factual is because they are scared. They're scared of Jesus Christ. They're scared of God, and they're scared of God's children. They're scared of the Christians. They're scared of the Jews. So they're going to criminalize us. They're going to pull different tactics and different stunts to make us fall for their agenda and to believe what they want us to believe any way they can. And once we get sucked into this interfaithist agenda, it's only going to be natural that once we get stuck into that, we're going to start following the shoot of the interfaith agenda, where we'll start falling in line with everybody else. And we'll start looking like everybody else. And now everybody will look exactly the same. Everybody will be thinking exactly the same thing. Everybody will be behaving exactly the same way. We will literally be good little slaves. That's their end game. That's what they want. That's what they're looking to accomplish. This video is actually starting to be a little bit more lengthy than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to try to cut the video here. Depending on the response I get out of this video, and how many views the video gets, I may wind up turning this video into a series of videos where I'll take everything I spoke about in this video and I'll break it down into different topics and go topic by topic in this series of videos. If that's what you would like me to do, please say so. Whether it be my Facebook page, the comment section on this video, or you can go to spiritualmessiahministries.org under the contact section and send me an email to my personal email address. And tell me there if you'd like to see this turn into a series, or specifically state a specific topic that you'd like me to cover on it, and I'll have no problem covering that topic for you. We just need to understand that these liberals are very evil people. They're satanic in nature, and all they care about is themselves. They don't care about us. Despite what they might say, they don't care about us. You can see that in their actions. And as I said in the beginning of the video, for further information on the secularization and interfaithism being part of the liberal agenda, just go to spiritualmessiahministries.org. In the search bar, you can type in Indoctrination of America, and you should get all the articles related to that topic, as well as my podcast I did on the topic. Or you can click on the hashtag of Christianity, and you should get all the related articles underneath that tag, as well as the podcast. I believe the podcast was under Agenda 21. And for more in-depth information, aside from the articles on the website, you can also take a look at the Mainstream Christianity versus True Christianity video, as well as the Agenda 21 video. And that should give you a little bit more insight and a little bit more in-depth information as far as the dumbing us down and drugging us up, and the secularization and interfaithism. And again, as I said, this video may wind up turning into a series where I'll do follow-up videos on it, where each individual video will be focused on one specific topic of how the left or the liberals, whatever you want to call them, are attacking us, in what way and why. That will really depend on the response I get to this video, or if I get any individual responses asking me to do a video on a specific topic, I'll have no problem doing a video for you. All you need to do is ask and I will do the video. So with that being said, I hope this video was at least a little bit informative for you and help you understand a little bit. If you need more in-depth information, like I said, just go to spiritualministries.org and watch the other videos that I mentioned. And if you need more in-depth information on a topic that I didn't cover in the articles or in the other videos, just simply say something and I will do a video or an article or possibly both on that topic for you. And this way, you know, the information's out there and everybody can get a better understanding of what exactly is going on and why exactly the liberals are doing what they do and why they think the way they think. And on that note, I'm going to end this video. And until I see you in the next video, email or on Facebook or wherever you might want to contact me. I will say good day, good evening, good night, depending on what time of day it is as you're watching this video. Please share this video, link to it, copy it, and God bless.